Meeting of the Amherst Township Trustees called to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Abraham?
Here.
Lynch?
Here.
Euring?
Yes.
And I am also present. The meeting minutes from October 28th, 2025. The meeting was called to order at 7:04 p.m. by Lynch. Pledge to the flag. Roll call. Abraham, Lynch, Euring, and Kish were present. Also in attendance, K. Smarsh, G. Lynch, M. Orozco, B. Latrani, A. Repko, D. Lisk, C. Lee, R. Ostrolonecki, S. Ostrolonecki, and C. Mattis. 10/7/25, a motion by Euring, seconded by Lynch, to approve the regular meeting minutes of October 14th, 2025 as read. Euring and Lynch ayes. Abraham abstained. 10/8/25, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Euring, moved to approve the financial reports and payment of items on the payment listing as presented to all ayes. 10/9/25, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Euring, moved to approve the September 2025 credit card account transaction detail has been reviewed per policy and is accepted as presented, subject to investigation. All ayes. Fiscal officer reported that she has still not heard back from the state auditor's office regarding finishing our 22-23 audit. At this rate, they will probably do it when they start the 2024-2025 audit. Also discussed some of the items mentioned at the last meeting: credit card scan deposits with our business banker and bank fees for changing either are ridiculous. Thinking 2026 may be the year to explore a few other banks and their offerings. We've been with Huntington prior to and since I started in 2017, and bank charges are getting so outrageous that it may be time to shop. Under welcome and audience concerns, C. Lee asked questions regarding road improvements and how funds are allocated from gas tax money received, as well as the township financials. C. Mattis, speaking for herself and claiming for others who could not be here tonight regarding the flags on residents' properties. R. Ostrolonecki also expressed her feelings about a flag being placed in her yard. D. Lisk brought up some safety concerns regarding motor vehicle accidents, especially in the Middle Ridge Road area, and costs incurred by the township, and if there is any money recouped for non-resident accidents. His other concern is that we do not have a sheriff assigned to the township. The community policing officers have been done away with to have more deputies available for road patrol. He expressed concerns regarding speeding and traffic enforcement without the community policing officers. His last concern was the feral cats in the valley, especially around his home, and he almost had his small dog attacked several times. Under correspondence, on 10/21/25, the Lorain County Subdivision Review Subcommittee, let's try that again. On 10/21/25, the Lorain County Subdivision Review Subcommittee memorandum regarding Sandstone Mill Phase 2, 40 lots, Sandstone 1, 28 lots, and Four Season Phase 3, 20 lots. All development phase received conditional recommendation for approval by the Lorain County Planning Commission. 7/1/26, the compliance deadline for cybersecurity program under Ohio Revised Code 9.64, House Bill 96. The second Tuesday of November is Veterans Day holiday. Change trustees meeting date, ? Looking at the calendars, everyone agreed to Monday, November 10th, 2025 at 7 p.m. 10/24/25, architect Tom Bode submitted his resignation. We will discuss a replacement with a few individuals. The road levy is expiring in 2025. Collection goes through 2026. Two potential election cycles in 2026, May 5th, 2026 and November 3rd, 2026, to put out to the residents. If May, everything would need to be ready by end of January. We would need to decide if it is a renewal, replacement, or a renewal with an increased levy. Under reports, under ambulance, Joint Sandstone Ambulance District meeting date is still not scheduled, but should be held in November. Under zoning, Inspector Valentin noted 2 site plan reviews, Circle K and Butchko Electric, on November 4th. BZA meeting was held October 22nd, and the conditional use was approved for Q Landscape. There is a 6 p.m. October 29th area variance for a lot split, a public hearing on Pile South Amherst. Under roads, parks, and cemeteries, Road Superintendent Smarsh, everything is running smooth. Maintenance, leaves, D Drive replaced drain tile and 2 more on Deepwood and Rustic Hill. Set in stone contractor started on Rustic Hill Road rehabilitation project yesterday. Left a message with Gled Hill regarding the status of the new plow truck. Under Lorco, regional wastewater treatment was moving forward with the County Lorco and Avon Lake Regional Water each having a seat on the board. Now Avon Lake City Council wants Avon Lake Regional Water wants to have 2 seats on the board. Phase 2, Stormwater, announced at Stormwater Advisory Committee meeting on October 16th that $400,000 available to all communities in 2026. We were told that we will be receiving an email regarding grant application requirements, but we have not received anything yet. Due to the dry fall season, the Lorraine Stormwater District and Lorraine Soil and Water Conservation District personnel were able to survey the Quarry Creek drainage area. We still aren't sure if we will be able to get the residents to sign easements to handle this. Kevin and Russ did repair the catch basin at Moss Canyon/Cobblestone. Complaints, they are being handled by the designated individual. A discussion ensued regarding trick or treat and when it should be held in future years. It will continue to be discussed. Unfinished business, Trustee Urick wanted to point out that curbside solid waste hauling and recycling fuel surcharge discount was reduced from 66 to 44 cents per quarter. Under new business, the next regularly scheduled meeting will be Monday, November 10th at 7 p.m. at the Amherst Township Hall due to the Veterans Day holiday falling on a Tuesday. 10:25, a motion by Urick, seconded by Abraham, moved to adjourn at 8:38 p.m. All ayes.
I have one question I just noticed. The set in stone contractor for Rustic Hill, and is that same as sandstone excavating? Or who was doing the Rustic Hill?
Sandstone excavating?
Okay, there's no set in stone involved in that, is there?
No, sir.
Okay. That's what I think. I just noticed that now. I apologize. That would be the only correction I would make. Sandstone, set in stone should be, contractor should be sandstone excavating. I just noticed.
Are there any other changes or corrections to the October 28th meeting minutes? And then I'll entertain a motion to accept as corrected.
So move.
Second? Denny seconded that, Chris.
Okay, thank you. Urick?
Yes.
Abraham?
Yes.
Lynch?
Yes.
Under financials, bills so far this month are pretty standard. First of the month bills are year-to-date revenue. Are you ready, David?
Yeah, go ahead.
$1,718,326.34. And our expenditures are $1,033,049.35.
Right.
That is all I have.
All right, thanks, Chris. And Chris did send an email out to everyone just to, through the rest of the year, just watch expenditures. If you can delay something, just delay it so that she can stay within the budget. It just saves her a lot of extra shenanigans to go around to reappropriate funds. So hopefully with the year almost up, we can accommodate that and make her life easier. And we'll start out the next year, and as we always do, your budget's usually pretty close, but as you get towards the end, you start getting nervous in certain.
We had a lot of
accounts.
unexpected expenditures.
Yep. So.
And I still have not heard from the state auditor's office. Again, I still think it's what is exactly going to happen is they're going to end and start The two, I don't know if you saw the email today. I sent an email out to Bill Latrani and to Lonnie Dillon.
I did see, yeah.
Regarding year-end payroll, that it needs to be turned in by December 15th, and what the new procedure is that they need to see their committee members' payroll first, or timesheets first, and then sign them and then turn them into me. So to try and get everybody in by December 15th, I did send that out today.
Yep, I
To
did
them.
see that, Chris.
That's it.
Okay, are there any questions on bills or financial reports? I'll make a motion to approve the financial reports and the payments of the items on the payment listing as specified in the documents provided by the fiscal officer.
I will second.
Lynch,
Yes.
Euring,
Yes.
Abraham,
Yes.
And the number on that, Chris?
11-2-25.
Got it. Okay, at this time, I'd like to welcome everyone in attendance. If you have anything to bring before the board, please raise your hand. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Okay, correspondence, Chris?
I have none other than what you've got on the agenda.
Okay, David?
I have nothing to bring forward at this time.
Denny?
Nothing.
Okay. The one I'm going to leave on, it's the older one, but that's the one that we have to meet the cybersecurity requirements by July 1st of 2026. I think we're pretty good based on everything we've read, but we are going to possibly adjust our policy, and we did have the policy that's been approved by the prosecutor's office, and we might just, adjust ours so that everything meets the requirements of Ohio Revised Code Section 9.64 that was updated in House Bill 96. Second item is I just wanted to set our 2025 end-of-year meeting and the 2026 organizational meeting. And what we've got right now, if we maintain our regular meeting schedule, our last meeting of the year would be on Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. Is that okay to have that meeting as our end of year for 2025 and the 2026 org meeting?
Okay, because we have a changeover in trustees, we can't organize until after the first. So we'll have to set an organizational meeting for after the first.
Yeah, what I would suggest, David, I already called Jeremy Watson and gave him the meeting dates, told him that they'd be subject to change after tonight so that he could attend, is that the two main things you have to do at an organizational meeting that impact when there's a changeover in trustees is setting your meeting date and time and who the chair is. And with that being the case, Jeremy being new, he's certainly not going to be the chair, and he has no problem with the second and fourth Tuesday of the year. So I would suggest we hold it, but if you have to make a change, we can do another one then in January. But all of the other items, as far as which we'll have to do in November at an executive session, look at the finances and the key indices that we receive from the Bureau of Labor Statistics as far as the adjustment of employee wages, and employees' reappointment, that we get all of that done ahead of time. So, I appreciate what's saying, but I've already talked with Jeremy, which until he's officially a trustee, I can actually do outside a meeting, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I still think that you have to have seated trustees in order to organize for the year.
Well,
what happened is that we didn't have a changeover, so that for a long time, obviously, it's been the board for 24 years, and we just haven't had to take in consideration a new person. Now we have to take in consideration of a new person when we have our meeting, and technically nothing goes until that person takes office, which is after the first.
So do you want to reaffirm that on Tuesday, January 13th of 2026.
Well, or we could have one on the 2nd of January if you want an organization.
I don't know that he can make it on the 2nd of January.
And I cannot, it's year end.
Okay.
So let's, doesn't this make sense? And if there's any problem, like I said, I've already talked with Jeremy, explained everything to him. There's no reason, how long has it been in your time as serving as trustee? 42 years. Have you ever held the meetings, the regular meetings at a different date and time?
The regular meetings?
Yeah.
There was a time I think we did it on a Monday.
Okay.
But it was for like a year or so. But aside from that, we generally met on the second Tuesday, and later we went to the second and fourth Tuesday.
Oh, so at one time you only met once a month?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so it's safe to say for certain, for 24 years, we've always met on the second, fourth Tuesday. And, that's what residents have become accustomed to. It doesn't conflict with the other townships and the other meetings, such as Rural Water Board, Lorco Board, Solid Waste Committee. I mean, there's just multiple other meetings you got to go to, and so by holding them on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we avoid those conflicts. So my suggestion is we hold the end of year and the 2025 end of year and the 2026 organizational meeting on Tuesday, December 23rd, and then at our meeting on Tuesday, January 13th, if there's some big change for some logical reason, someone wants to change the meeting dates, or you and Jeremy, because it has to be your decision, you want to change, like maybe you don't want to be chair, or maybe you want, or assistant chair, or maybe you want to be chair. I have no problem, David. I'll step away from that and say it's all on you now. I mean, doesn't that make sense? Let's just get it done instead of making this overly complicated. We also know the thing at the board meeting is we set the compensation for the zoning boards. If you don't set that before the end of the year, how are they going to hold their org meeting? And it's just a practical matter. Is that okay?
No. I still feel that the organ meeting needs to happen after the first of the year. That's you organize for the year. That's your first meeting.
But we're going to hold two of them.
The 23rd, as far as the end of the year, the 23rd is fine with me. And that keeps us in our sequence. It's a little close to Christmas, but it's not on top of Christmas, so that I think we can get through that.
Okay, how about the compensation for the zoning boards? When are you going to do that? Don't you normally do that at the org meeting?
Well, you have an org meeting early.
Chris just said she's doing end of year and she's not going to meet that first week in January. I mean, to me, this makes perfect sense, David. I think we're debating something that doesn't need to be debated.
Okay. The feeling that I have is that I don't think we can. Whether you want to or not, I don't think you can, because you've got a changeover. And nobody's officially there and taking polls before you go in to the meeting. I don't think it absolves you of the situation. It's still a situation. You're going to have a new set after the first, and you need to organize at that point. But
let's do this. I will contact the prosecutor's office to explain
Right.
what we're doing. And so what we'll do is we'll set the 23rd, December 23rd, as the 2025 end of year, and the 2026 organizational meeting, subject to correspondence with the prosecutor, Lorraine County Prosecutor's Office.
approval of the prosecutor.
Barbara Tamas, she's the one that...
No, I said approval of the prosecutors. You were wordsmithing it, and I said, what's approval of the prosecutors?
Okay.
If that's what you want to say.
So you're okay with that?
Get approval from the prosecutor, yes.
Now, other than that, and I suspect the prosecutor's gonna, the only question will come up is who's the chair and what day's your meeting? Because there is nothing in that org meeting that says we can't set the compensation. You know, it's just like we set the temporary budget for 2026 already. Right?
Yeah, we set the budget already. Temporary.
Okay. So everybody's got that down?
23rd and the 9th.
Yes, 23rd. And I should have an answer before our next meeting. I know I'd sent a resolution we'll be considering tonight to the prosecutor for review, but I know she didn't have a lot of time to review it. I can tell you I've been dug all through the current revision of the ORC. I believe I've included everything, but I just wanted second eyes on it. Okay, we'll move on then. The next item of correspondence you have in your packet, it was a string of emails started by Roseanne Denega of the Lorraine County Engineer's Office. And what Roseanne did is she has two punch lists there for the final walkthrough for the Sandstone Mill subdivision number 2. That was the 40 homes. And then the Four Seasons of Sandstone subdivision phases 2 and 3, and that's a 28 home and 20 home addition. So in that punch list, one of the items Roseanne had down on here was the painting of crosswalks and stop bars back in the subdivision. This is not up at the Sandstone Parkway, but within the subdivision. And the township doesn't paint crosswalks and stop bars within any other subdivision. And so the question is, do we want to start that now or not? I'd indicated to John Evanson of Perpetual Development that the township is not inclined to do that painting because then that would be an ongoing expense that we'd either have to paint ourselves or subcontract. And what Bob Kleiber, the county engineer's office, requested is that if that's the case, is that the township just send a letter. So I've got prepared here is, now I put 2 letters for original signatures, don't know that we need them, but it's just a simple letter. Subject is crosswalk and stop bar painting in Sandstone Mill subdivision phase 2 and Four Seasons at Sandstone subdivision phases 2 and 3. Dear Mr. Evanson, painting, and I see painting is spelled wrong. It had to be spell check. I put it as painting. I even hit the review for spell check. Painting of crosswalks and stop bars is not required in the Sandstone Mill subdivision phase 2 and Four Seasons at Sandstone subdivision phases 2 and 3. Painting of these features is expected at the Sandstone Parkway. This is consistent with all other subdivisions within Amherst Township, respectfully, and then the signatures of the 3 trustees. So that's it, short and sweet. I don't know if there's any questions on that. Thanks, David. So it appears that if there's no disagreement, we'll just sign that letter, and I'll get it scanned in and emailed off tonight. Okay, if no questions, we'll move on. Reports, I don't have any report on the Sandstone Joint Ambulance District. I'm still waiting for the November meeting to be scheduled. Sheriff's Department, we know anymore, unless they reinstitute the community policing officer, and I know that Sheriff Hall has talked about getting volunteers now, similar to the auxiliary, to go out for the various townships. I don't know if that's going to happen for sure or not. I think it'll depend upon how many volunteers he gets. but it won't be an actual deputy. But the sheriff's reports are now all online. Zoning, you did see that zoning inspector Ryan Valentin did give his report here. In November, there were no new home construction permits. The only permits were for a fence and patio in November. But total, through the year, he's had 58 new homes that were constructed and pulled permits, and 135 permits for other items, generally accessory items. And I think as far as the zoning commission, we do have at the next zoning commission meeting, I'm not sure if they've set the public hearing yet for a lot split down there on Broadway. Linda's saying yes, okay, there'll be, property owners requested to split off 2 parcels. The intent is for that existing property owner, he is going to live in one of the new smaller homes and his daughter in the other. In that particular area, we require a minimum of 5,000 square feet. This is going to be well over that because I believe they're 90 foot wide by 100 feet deep parcels that each that he's intending to put on there. And then the remainder parcel he'd have is a much larger, I believe it's over an acre. Not sure what his intention is there. I assume it's to sell it to someone else. That's on Broadway.
No, wait.
8th, 2nd of December at the zoning commission.
It'll be the first Tuesday. I mean, when you're ready, Chris.
Good.
Okay, roads, parks, and cemeteries, Superintendent Smarsh.
I don't have too much here. We've been on leaves, another storm sewer repair. All regular maintenance, though, is going smoothly. We've had a couple of signs that have been hit. They were, all of them have been a hit and run. And 2 of them, there was 3 of them that were, 2 of them we were able to just change out the post. We were able to reuse the signs. We had our first snow, threw out a little bit of ice this morning. Had a truck repair we needed to do right out of the gate. Steering hose blew on the 96. But other than that, this weather's going to get gone here. I believe by the end of Wednesday, we'll get back on the leaves and the other storm sewer repairs.
Warm back up.
Yes.
Any questions for Kevin?
What's our oldest truck right now?
I'm sorry,
What's the oldest truck we got right now, Kevin?
88.
We get a historical plates for that? All right, anyway. Never mind.
Well, we'll be getting a new 2024 truck, probably not till 2026.
I even called and left a kind of a stern message today and didn't get a call back, so I don't know.
Wow.
Well, since, as part of roads, I included under the roads is the prepared resolution that the trustees have in their packet here. This is for the 1 mil road levy renewal. And I see it's up on the screen right now, but I'm just going to make this motion to bring it to the floor. It's a resolution pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 5705.03, requesting that the county auditor certify to Amherst Township the total current tax valuation of Amherst Township and the dollar amount of revenue that would be generated by 1 mil renewal for the purpose of the general construction, reconstruction, resurfacing, repair of streets, roads, and bridges under Ohio Revised Code Section 5705.19G. So that'll be my motion.
Second.
Who wants to take it?
I think David got it first. But this here, we discussed at the last meeting, the trustees would need to decide if this is going to be renewal or replacement, replacement with an increase, renewal with an increase. And I just structured this as if it's renewal for several reasons. First one being, we just saw in the last election, any new money, it seems like the voters turn down. And I don't think you want to take the risk of having the revenue we receive today to be turned down. And at the same time, I don't think we need additional money. Probably the biggest things that have happened, not only in prudent expenditures, but with the CARES money and the ARPA money that we received. Those were huge for our township. We had, if you recall, with the CARES money, we had 1 year to spend it. And so that made it very difficult to determine how do you spend it, and yet spend it on something wisely that's going to help the township in the long term. We did not give any money out for hazard pay, which many communities did. And I know our employees still worked hard, did their job, but there's always going to be hazards, particularly out on the roads. So it didn't seem like putting because of the COVID issue, that you would get extra money for doing your regular job, so we did not. But what we did do, and we didn't give any money out for rent help, we didn't give any money out to businesses. These were all things we could have done. But I don't know that that would have helped the township overall in the long term. And it was difficult at the time because nobody really understood what was going on, and you were getting all sorts of information from different groups that was sometimes contradictory. So what we did do, the only new thing we did in our township is we added an additional pavilion. And Denny, you were in charge of getting that project done, and a couple of different pads to put out there, which was all justified under the COVID money of keeping people separate. But that gave us a new asset that people use and is valuable. And Linda, you see it when you schedule those pavilions down there now. It reduces the amount of conflict of people trying to find a place to hold any event with no real charge other than, a deposit and to cover some of the costs for the waste pickup that our road crew has to do down there that's generated. But the other money, starting with the CARES money we use, we purchased a new cargo van. We also had, which we would have had to get anyway, and got rid of the old van. We knew we'd have to replace that, so we used that CARES money for it. We also knew we had to do some repairs on the walkway in the parking lot and resurface them. We were able to get that done because under the recreational section, those were allowable expenses that were listed in the information that was provided by the Treasury. We had the new backhoe because we use the backhoe for all of the ditching work we have and the repair of the stormwater system, which was also one of the items that was eligible. We would have had to replace it anyway, and I think, let's see, with the backhoe, we had we got the 2021, I don't have in here what the old version was, but again, it was one we'd have to anyway. Unfortunately, Kevin had to do a major hydraulic repair just before the replacement, but we did get a $36,000 credit on the former backhoe, which resulted in a net cost to the township of $81,000. We then went forward with the ARPA money. We got the small pickup truck with a small plow included. We hope to get the new plow truck, which we were expecting late this year, and I know Chris was discussing before this meeting. She's not sure if that'll come in 2025 or 2026. If it comes in 2026, that might be better because it has, I think it's a little over $37,000 payment upon delivery for the first year, because we are doing a lease purchase over a 7-year period on that, again, to watch the cash flow of our funds. But the Treasury early on made a decision that for any community that received less than 10 million, and we were well below 10 million, they changed it from, instead of justifying each expenditure based on it fitting within a category that the original legislation approved, and then they kept making adjustments through time, you could spend it on regular expenses. So we made the decision to buy us more time to decide when to use it. Is Chris used up the ARPA money just to pay all of the salaries, ongoing expenses for roads, any other expense we had. We used that money up. Essentially what that did was conserve the general fund and road and bridge fund, which were our two major funds. The motor vehicle license plate fees and the gasoline taxes, those were all spent all on roads, but it just maximized how we could use these funds for longer term planning. And it's actually working out because now we have more funds available to use for matching of grants, which leverages additional funds to use in our subdivision. And as Kevin and Linda know, who have worked on these grants, we've been told before, don't ever expect grant money for the subdivision roads. But we've now received those funds at least 3, if not 4 years in a row. And we've got tentative approval for next year. We still are waiting on the final approval of that. And the reason we're able to do that is because we put a larger share of township money in it versus 100%, it's just a large share. And we have to do a large loan component to gain the points that they use in scoring. But we now have the funds available to do that, whereas before we were always playing it too close to commit those funds. We then had the real estate reappraisal come through. That did result in an increase. Let's see, it's with the real estate appraisal, 2 things. You have the 3 mills of inside millage the township receives, plus the new construction. Any new construction adds to our revenue. Well, that's going to equate to a $62,000 increase in the general fund and a $110,000 increase in the road and bridge fund. And those estimates are from our county auditor. You know, that will make up. We're going to have a loss because, Chris, I looked at the investments. We're down about 1.5% on average of our investments over the past year. If you look back from when we started, you know, we were sitting there about 5.5 on some of those. We're now, I think, Star Ohio, it's below 4. But that will result in a reduced investment earnings of $50,000 to $60,000. The county commissioners, with the new House Bill 96, which was the state budget bill, they did approve what they call the local option homestead exemption. That is going to reduce the amount that we receive from that real estate reappraisal, but we don't have an estimate on that amount yet. So you'll see on the documents I sent around to everyone, I just put a bunch of dollar signs there because that's still to be determined. And that really is going to be based on how many people qualify within our township for that reduction. If they're already receiving the homestead exemption, supposedly they don't have to apply, they will automatically receive it. But if they're not, they actually need to apply for that. It is income-based, and there's also for those with disabilities and veterans that can qualify, again, based on some different income threshold. Solid waste, we still don't expect anything from there. If you recall, at one time we were receiving over $60,000 a year. Now we receive nothing. And Chris, I don't know, I know you gave a figure of an estimate for health care increases. Has that been determined yet?
Yeah.
Okay, because I haven't seen anything, to my knowledge, in writing. So I didn't put down, I thought you had indicated 26%, but I just put it down as a rumor because I didn't want to quote that when
I know it went up 13%?
13? Okay, well, good.
Whatever I had on that sheet that I sent out that you said, wait a minute, we are a little bit different.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure that's the numbers.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure on that, so I didn't want to spend all day trying to put this together. But I still think because of those main items is, I don't think we're sitting in the same predicament we were in years past where we have to play it real close to the bone. I think we're sitting real pretty, but again, it's because of the CARES money and the ARPA money. And I think we spent it more wisely versus, some areas sent it all out to nonprofits. And I'm going to go back the way I was taught, the difference between giving a person a fish or teaching them to fish. You give them a fish, they have food for a day. You teach them to fish, they have food for life. And in our case, we decided we were going to spend it on things that were really necessary for the township that would last in the longer term, and that's put us in a pretty good financial situation. So with that, short story is, I'm just recommending we request a renewal. I don't know if Dave and Denny, if you guys...
I request a renewal, that's fine with me.
Okay, and this is just the first step. And Chris, you'll have to take a certified copy of the resolution to the auditor. They've got at least 10 days to get back to us.
Yeah, I'll send it tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, the sooner the better. If they got it back,
I don't know about the timestamp because now everything is electronic, so.
oh, well, that's why I was hoping we could get a timestamp on it. We know the 10 days. I could then prepare for the next meeting, expecting the auditor will get information back to us, the next resolution, because then we got to go another step with another resolution, but we can't actually pass that till we receive the information from the auditor.
That has to be done 90 days before.
Yes, it has to be, 90 days before, we got to get everything together into the Board of Elections, so you got to back it up before that. And with our meetings, David, it pretty much comes to our last meeting in January, we have to have it done, and short of scheduling a special meeting. And so I'm really hoping that if things move along, we can pass the next resolution at the next meeting. If not that one, it'll be the first meeting in December. And then again starts the whole time process here. But are there any other questions or comments on this resolution?
No. But in this resolution that you're presenting, Neil, this is just to ask for the amount of revenue that would be generated by 1 mil.
Correct.
That's all we're doing right now.
Correct, and it specifies, David, the districts, because remember, we created a road district that carves out the northern part of the village of South Amherst, so they won't be charged, but they also won't vote on it. And everything that's bolded on the resolution is specified in the ORC, and I presented, there are copies of the current ORC because there's been multiple changes in the last 5 years on this. Okay?
I second this?
Yes, you seconded it.
I think a while back, but I did. All right.
Okay, then nothing else, then roll call, Chris?
Lynch,
Yes.
Euring,
Yes.
Abraham.
Yes,
And the number, Chris?
That's 11-3. And just so you know, the 2026 increase is 12.97%.
Oh, let me put that 12.9.
And I'm trying to print out the sheet for you right now.
Get the figures whenever you have them.
Yeah, but the
Like in
figures
Excel?
you have are not the figures for us. We have different numbers based on, you just want the,
I want whatever it costs per employee township pays for their insurance. We can
minus
use it
what
for
they
the
put in.
salaries. So if you're paying $5,000 for Kevin a month, I have to take that into account for his hourly salary. Figure out what we're actually costing.
Minus what he pays.
Yes.
So we won't know that till the organizational meeting.
And even though they're slow in the Bureau of Labor Statistics, giving information that they are still putting it out, just delayed. And who knows, maybe they'll open the government, we'll get back to routine
We
again.
can only hope.
But yeah, when it comes out, trust me, I'll start working on getting the information for the org meeting. But I know they're delayed. All right, we all set then?
Yep.
We did do roll call, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, Township Administrator, Linda Ashley.
Not much to report. The lease payment for the Amherst Athletic Association for the new lease that we just did in July, we finally got the payment. So everybody has paid us. Chris has copies of all the leases, signed leases, and copies of the check. The stormwater, the additional money, did we get that from Don Romankick yet, Chris? That's 1,700?
No,
Sorry.
I haven't gotten anything.
1,700, okay. So I'll send them back out another thing. The fire department related to that fire of 10-5, I have emailed them twice, asking them to correct the fire report if they saw fit to do so, and I'm still waiting. So at this point, I'm thinking we're probably not going to be able to recover any of the costs, because nobody seems to be working too hard on it. And it's open enrollment time for Medicare. I've had a couple people come in, a couple people scheduled to go over all their Medicare information. And that's about it. Just working on helping Ryan with the zoning and all the different questions that we've had that just pop up out of nowhere.
Okay. And at the last meeting, I neglected to ask you, there was the person that sent in the complaint on the neighbor with the additional dogs.
Yes. I did speak with him, and I called over to the county sheriff's office, and they kind of give us a runaround about there's nothing they can do unless they hear the dogs and various complaints and all that. But I did tell, I believe his name was Swartz, Mr. Swartz, to just call the sheriff if it's a problem. He did state that they don't hear it too much in the winter because they're in the house. It's mostly in the spring and summer. So if he does notice it in the spring, then he'll just start calling.
Okay.
That's about all we can do.
So I'm just going to put that one as if it's closed right now.
Yeah.
He knows who to call.
Yeah, and he'll call back, he said, if it's an issue in the spring.
Okay. And I'm sure everyone saw your email on what happened there at the bus garage with that delivery coming from out of state.
Did you not see it, Chris? I might have forgotten to put you on it. The bus garage was working last Thursday morning at 4:30 a.m. Backup bells, air horns, towers with bright lights, horns honking, just loud noises. So we did get a complaint from a resident. And I did talk to Chuck Grimmett at Amherst Schools, explained to him what happened. He talked to the project manager. It was a special circumstance where the building was coming in from out of state. That's when they arrived. But I did explain that it's 7 a.m. for our noise ordinance, and he was going to relay that. And then I do have the resident, I told him, call me back if this happens again.
Hopefully that's the last one. I mean, I'm sure the trucker wouldn't have liked it, but that would have been a time stop for a breakfast or long coffee.
Right.
You know, you don't start till 7.
But 4:30 is a little early to
Oh,
be
yeah.
starting clanging. And Mr. Grimmett did say that he understands, because he wouldn't want that at his house either, at 4:30 in the morning, so.
And this would be his last project, and he's retiring.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, well, that's what he's indicated, unless he changes his mind. Okay, anything else, Linda?
Nope.
Questions for Linda?
No, I have no question.
And you are going to follow up then with Don Romanchek on the mini grant? 'Cause
Yes.
I know his last email, he indicated he might need to adjust the MOU, but.
Right. I've not seen anything, and Alexandria has not sent
Okay.
any emails or anything so far.
Okay. Well, and I'll be bugging them too on the grant for 2026 for Quarry Creek watershed. Okay. just look at the, oh, I didn't take that one off for State Route 113 ditches. Kevin verified those have been cleaned. And I don't know, the one where the resident with a complaint on trick or treat, you know, that may have to be put off. I mean, we can give her an answer, but, you know, we're going to have people on both sides of that equation. All right, for the unfinished business on here, that are sign-specific responsibility of the trustees, is there anything to bring up?
No, sir.
Just under solid waste, 2 items. The policy committee is going to meet next Tuesday because, like us, they would meet on the second Tuesday, but it's the Veterans Day, so they're going to meet next Tuesday, the 18th. And the second item is, I believe, we received a second quote for grinding, and it was more than the first quote for grinding. And a third quote was solicited, but no response was received. My suggestion would be we go ahead with the lower quote for, I believe it was $10,000.
Is that a
Let's
motion?
rattle it. If you want it in a motion, or we just accept it, it doesn't matter. We just
Just make a
Sure.
motion, David, it'll be easier. I'll quickly second it.
all right. I'll make a motion to accept the quote for Ratlin. Their name, Soils. Quote for Ratlin Soils for grinding of yard waste, grinding and removal of yard waste, or grinding and recycling of yard waste. I'm sorry, Chris. Grinding and recycling, because you can't say that like you're throwing it away, because you're not. You're recycling it. So for $10,000. That'll be my motion.
And I'll second that, Chris.
Eurig, seconded. Lynch. Eurig,
Yes.
Lynch,
Yes.
Abraham.
Yes.
And
That is
Kevin,
11/4/25.
you have all that information? Do you need it resent?
No, I have it.
Okay, so you can go ahead and get things scheduled in. And,
Yep, I'll call them tomorrow.
what was that number again, Chris?
11/4/25.
Okay, is there any new business? All right, then our next meeting will be on Tuesday, November 25th. Any need for a work session between now and then, Kevin?
No, sir.
All right, and we've got the 2025 end-of-year meeting will be on December 23rd, 2025, and subject to approval by the Lorraine County Prosecutor's Office, the 2026 organizational meeting will also be on December 23rd of 2025
At 7 p.m., correct?
at 7 p.m. Yep. Okay, other call, any audience concerns or questions? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Any need for an executive session? Right, then can I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Eurig,
Yes.
Abraham,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.